Good evening. I would like to call to order the Oregon City Council regular meeting for December 15th of 2025. The time is 7 p.m. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council members present?
Mrs. Ackerman?
Here.
Mr. Andrus?
Here.
Mr. Drake?
Here.
Mr. Horniak?
Here.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Here.
Mr. Reeves?
Here.
Mr. Wallensack?
Here.
Thank you. All council members are present. Also presented at tonight's meeting is Mayor Salander, our city administrator, Joe Major, our clerk of council, Josette Snyder, our law director, Melissa Papora, our public service director, Paul Roman, our police chief, Brandon Began. Okay. Nope, that's fine. Fire Chief Clayton O'Brien, our Assistant Fire Chief Mark Mullins, our Finance Director Nick Roman, and our IT Director Ken Meissner. The first order of business is to approve the minutes for the meeting on December 8th of 2025, regular council meeting. Council, may I seek a motion?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauloff.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. Does anyone have any objections? Meeting minutes are accepted as presented. First item on the agenda is persons of delegations. With the number of people that have signed in today, you will have 2 minutes to speak. Hey. Thanks. You need to conduct yourselves in a civil manner. If not, you will be asked to leave. It's that simple. This is our business meeting that we are doing tonight with all the people that are want to speak. We can't be here all night. First person. The first person to speak tonight will be Frank Cares. Mr. Cares, if you would please come up and name and address for the record. And up next will be Wyona Nutter, please. You'll be followed.
Thank you. Did you say give name and address? Frank Kors, 542 Bryn Haven, Oregon, Ohio.
Thank you.
I have never, ever been to a meeting, let alone addressed council. I'm very nervous. I'm not a public speaker. I'm here just to go on record saying that I'm against the data center. I'm going to probably jump all over the place here in my 2 minutes, but I would like to say thank you to Beth Ackerman, Mr. Drake, and our mayor. Excuse me. In my humble opinion, I believe that they really stand for the city. I'm just a lowly servant for all you. I wanted to address real quick, though, before I run out of time. I'm sure you've probably all seen in the Blade, and I know the Blade is not gospel, but the one particular Sunday's Blade paragraph, it said, in Oregon, the city agreed in November of 2024 to sell 170 acres of land it owns near Corduroy and Wynn Road to Capacity LLC for the construction of a data center with as many as 8 buildings. Now, we've kind of been led that you guys didn't even know anything about a data center. The $17.4 million purchase agreement set that $2 billion project into motion. Here's the big thing. It says construction is expected to begin in early 2026. I would like to ask any of you to speak up and explain to me or tell me that you did not know about this. So you did know. And it's been kept secret from us for how many years? Because this don't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And you have hid this from us for so long. That's not what elected officials are supposed to do. Now my nervousness is gone. I'm upset. I'm sorry. This is really, really ridiculous because we've known nothing about it.
Thank you, Mr. Cares.
Thank you.
Up next, Wyona Nutter. Following Wyona Nutter will be Amy Mottmiller.
Winona Nutter, 4454
Excuse me.
Lake Shore Road.
Excuse me. Thank you. Yep.
I have 5 questions for Mr. Wallenczak. I'm going to name all 5 before my 2 minutes runs out, and then if you could answer. Number 1, whose responsibility was it to notify Mrs. Ackerman and Mr. Drake that a council candidate was to be presented for approval at last week's council meeting? Second question, do you stand to personally finance financial gain from the proposed data center project in Oregon? Third one, have you ever recused yourself from discussion of the data center project during public or private meetings? Fourth question, have you previously discussed, whether phone, text, email, or in person, how you would vote on city legislation with other council members prior to public meetings? And the last one, in a recent Toledo Blade article on this subject, you felt there was a breakdown in communication regarding the placement of Mr. Andres on Oregon City Council. Was it your intention and intention of Mr. Reeves, Mr. Horniak, and Ms. Pollock to exclude Mr. Drake and Mrs. Ackerman and over 20,000 Oregon residents from advanced knowledge of this official city business?
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't discuss my votes amongst other council members. So will I potentially profit from a sale of a property? I don't know. I own a piece of property in the Windscape development. I don't know yet. Is there a potential? I recused myself in May of this year. I was hypothetically asked a question, if they ever had to buy your property, would you sell it? I immediately talked to our law director and started recusing myself from all conversations regarding the data center because I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak. Amy Mottmiller, please. Ms. Mottmiller, name and address for the record.
I don't know what the other questions were. Any one of us could have contacted them.
And no one did.
Nobody did, and nobody ever contacted me about any of it. So what I'd say a breakdown in communication is there was no conversation. In the process of when Mr. Salander was elected mayor, at that point in time, nobody on city council showed any leadership. And that's why I shoulder part of the blame, because somebody should have stepped up and said, this is how we're gonna do this, and nobody did. And I shoulder that blame also. Over the last couple years, I felt that I was the only council member that could swing back and forth and talk to everybody. And maybe it was me that I should have stepped up and said, this is how it's gonna be, and I didn't. Nobody else did. I shoulder some of that blame. But, you know, Tommy Lambrick is a good person. I like Tom. He's my friend. It just, you know, I felt that Mr. Andrews is a good person, you know. So I'm not gonna get into the details right now, but Tommy, I will say Tommy is a good person, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak. Up next, Amy Mottmiller, Bradley Henning, you'll be next. Name and address, please, for the record.
Amy Mottmiller, 5040 Corduroy Road. The The nomination and swearing of Mr. Andres occurred at the conclusion of the council meeting under the items not listed in published agenda, without prior public notice and appointment to be considered. This process was conducted quickly without deliberation and did not allow any members of council the opportunity to ask any questions or discuss qualifications, offer alternative nominations. Mr. Andres was not asked publicly to explain why he sought the position. This is not against him because we don't really know him, so I brought questions for him. Mr. Andres, how were you made aware, I'll just give you the 6 questions. How were you made aware of the open council position? Did you initiate contact with a member of council regarding this vacancy, or were you contacted by a member of council? If so, whom? Did you express interest in the open council seat with all members of the council, and if not, why? Were you instructed by any member of council to not contact any member of council regarding the vacancy? Who instructed you to attend the council meeting, and were you told that you'd be sworn in? And it's not fair to you either to have the public's trust not be there with you just because of the circumstances of the swearing in, so apologize for that. But if you could answer any of those questions, that'd be great.
Mr. President,
Mr. Anders.
I never sought to be here. I was contacted. I was made aware that there was vacancy on council. I had served on the BZA for, it's going on 15 years, and I was asked qualifications. I let them know that I've been a resident of Oregon for 25 years, of course on the BZA for 15. I have a degree in civil engineering. I also have a degree in land surveying, and I'm licensed in land surveying in both in Ohio and Michigan. And I perform a lot of work all over the area for all different kinds of people, small people, big people, corporations, the refinery. I was in the refinery this morning. So I work with all kinds of people. And I believe that I was sort of well-versed with a lot of different people. I have no political aspirations, and I will not be defending this seat when this is over with. Yes, I was contacted. Yes, there was a phone
By who?
conversation. By whom?
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I was contacted by Councilwoman Pauloff.
Okay. Did you talk with any other council members?
Mr. President,
Ms. Popora.
Ms. Montmiller, I understand there's been a lot of interest in the issues surrounding the compliance with the Ohio Sunshine Laws, specifically the open meetings. After being placed on notice, the city has been placed on notice of potential civil litigation, and consistent with Oregon's past practice, we cannot comment at this time.
Okay. Can I give this to Ms. Snyder for the record, since I couldn't
Sure.
say all of mine?
Up next is Bradley Henning. Mr. Henning, name and address for the record. Mr. Molnar, you're next.
My name is Bradley Henning. My address is 4262 Morning Dove Drive, Oregon, Ohio. My statement is in response to a comment made at last week's meeting by Mr. Horniak, with him saying that there was no process laid out by the charter for nominating and choosing an appointment to the vacant council seat. While this may be true in letter, there was clear data and expression from the public that communicated that the immediate appointment of Mr. Andrus would be a controversial one, and for the following 3 reasons. Number 1, the charter amendment for council vacancies passed by a narrow margin of 35 votes, with 50.2% voting yes and 49.7% voting no. Number 2, the decision was made with supporting vote of current president, Mr. Reeves, who with 13.8% of the recent vote did not merit re-election, while excluded was incoming councilperson, Mr. Paul Gibbs, who received the second highest vote percentage of 19.3%. Also, the top vote getter, Mr. Drake, voted nay on Mr. Andrus's appointment. Number 3, the The fourth place finish of Mr. Lambrick with 15.6% of the vote provided clear evidence of the electorate's support. While Mr. Andrus was appointed without any discussion or debate, which not only lacks any quantitative support from the public, but further does not give his place on council the benefit of at least having his merit being presented and considered by the general public. Without honest effort being made by our elected officials to make decisions and establish processes that are proportionate to the people's consent to be governed, the faith and goodwill that upholds our ability to maintain home rule will continue to erode. I ask the council, the mayor, and his administration to carefully consider the public feedback given tonight and use it as a basis for maintaining integrity in your future decisions. Thank you.
Mr. Molnar, you are up. Following him would be Mr. Nelson. Name and
Name's Michael
address,
Molnar.
please. Thank you.
5143 Merlot Drive. Good evening, Mayor, President, Councilwomen. I'm here tonight to express my concerns regarding what took place at the previous council meeting regarding the open council seat. While I do not know the individual who was voted in, my concern is not about him personally or professionally. My concern is about the process in which he was appointed. Members of council, you were elected by the citizens of Oregon to represent us collectively and make decisions on our behalf. When appointments are made without clear explanation or transparency, it risks eroding the trust that the residents place in our council. I feel that what took place during last council meeting showed a poor representation of some council members' willingness to communicate with one another. Whether or not you agree on the same side of any issue, it is essential that clear communication exists among all council members. Without open dialogue, decisions risk being made in isolation rather than the spirit of collaboration that the citizens of Oregon expect from each and every one of you. Thank you guys for all of your time and the opportunity to speak tonight.
Mr. Nelson, name and address for the record. Following Mr. Nelson will be Laura Davis.
Rich Nelson, 6419 Corey Road. I'd like off to start by saying, remember, there's personal and there's business. I personally know everyone up here, some way, shape, or form. Some I consider friends, some just acquaintances. We'll start with the business first. You stole from me and 1,920 other people's votes. You are elected to represent us, not your own personal interests or agendas. And yet you turned a blind eye to us. You knew that almost 2,000 people wanted Tom in there. You knew that. And yet you just gave us all the big middle finger. I mean, that was wrong. There's nothing right about it. You can tell me, I know what the charter says, I've read it, but there's nothing right about what you did. Nothing at all. You're never going to convince me it was right. I said, it wasn't me you screwed over, it was him. That's wrong. I mean, really, really wrong. I don't know if any of you have ever read my hand or got close into it. It says, nothing in life is free. I believe that. I've taught my boys that. Pay me now or pay me later, but you will pay me. I promise you that. And nothing's free. You guys remember that. What you did, you will pay for. Somehow, some way, sometime in life, where it's voted off, whatever. I feel bad for Dave, 'cause I've known Dave for years. And he's a great guy, but I wouldn't put myself in that position to save my life. I would step aside and say, you guys got to figure this stuff out. I don't end it on a negative note. Like I said, I do like all you guys. It is not personal. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. You've definitely inspired me to get more involved and run, because there's no way if I was sitting there, I would put him in that spot, and I wouldn't have bypassed him. I wouldn't do it. That was wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Laura Davis, name and address for the record. Following Laura will be Jim Davis.
Laura Davis, 5494 Bay Shore Road. I have a few questions for Ms. Pauloff. Number one is, are you familiar with the rules and regulations in regard to the Ohio's Open Meeting Act? The next one, are you aware that Ohio's Open Meeting Act prohibits any private prearranged discussion of public business by majority of members of public body, regardless of whether discussion occurs face-to-face, telephonically, by video conference, or electronically by email, text, tweet, or any other form of communication. Do you feel your actions in regards to Mr. Andrus' placement on Oregon City Council are in compliance with Ohio's Open Meeting Act? I was going to read the Open Meeting Act, but since our time got cut, I'll just go right to the next part. When the citizens protested last week, they were threatened to be thrown out. The community voted for new honest leaders in the November election. We voted for a change, integrity, and transparency. This blatant public violation of the law was done in front of all the witnesses. We citizens now wonder what other corruption was or is going on behind the scenes that we have no knowledge of. The backdoor dirty deeds that were done in the dark have now come to light, in front of witnesses no less. How can we trust anyone now? Last week I spoke on about the UNO Group, was originally started for the data center. We have not given up on that fight. However, we are here to fight for injustice and corruption in our city government as well. We have formed a committee to explore our options as to what legal steps need to be taken. We are seeking legal counsel. This needs to be fought legally. We understand those who are also feeling betrayed by the lack of integrity. Also, we're grateful for the people who have reached out and offered to help us. And we understand those who are also feeling betrayed by the lack of integrity of the Backdoor Four and anyone else who was in on the vindictive plan. The question is, who is the mastermind or ringleader? Who initiated this plot? The unsolved mystery will soon be resolved.
Jim Davis, you'll be followed by Connie Trudell.
Jim Davis, 5494 Bay Shore Road. These questions are for Ms. Purpura. I will list all the questions and then you can answer after. When were you made aware that a council candidate was to be nominated by last week's council meeting? Who advised you that they would be presenting a council candidate for consideration at last week's meeting? Why was this official business not included on the agenda? Why was the notification of this city official business not provided in advance to the public, either the public or Mrs. Ackerman, Mr. Drake, or Mr. Salander? Did you express concerns over this process to any council members? Did you prepare documents to support the swearing-in ceremony immediately after last week's council meeting? And why was the public not informed in advance of the official event? And who asked you to prepare those documents? Do you feel last week's city council action regarding the appointment of Dave Andrus, Oregon City Council, is in compliance with the Ohio Open Meetings Act, revised code section 121.22? I have a little bit of time left, Mr. Andrus. We talked a little bit last week. I'm a PE, and you're also a registered surveyor. We have the same code of conduct to be impartial, to serve in the public interest, and to tell the truth. So just reminding you of that, and reminding you that any business that involves the city with your company is a complicated matter. You'll have to consider recusing yourself if that happens. That's it.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Davis, I have done work for the city of Oregon.
Yeah.
Very small projects here and there. I am a small operator.
Sure.
I am the president of the oldest family-owned independent survey company in the metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Many of my competitors have been bought out by huge corporations and don't like to do work for normal people. I understand that my placement here means I can no longer do work, at least for the next 2 years, for the city of Oregon.
Yeah.
And I am aware of that.
Okay. All right.
I yield.
Thank you.
Ms. Purpura?
Mr. President,
Ms. Purpura.
Mr. Davis, some of the questions that you had asked, why wasn't this, what occurred last week on the agenda? According to the codified ordinances of the City of Oregon, 111.06, which states order of business, which lays out how business shall be conducted at council meetings. It was not required, based on this chapter or this statute, that it needed to be placed on the agenda. So there was no violation of that section. I did review that. With regards to asking me if I prepared a document, I prepared no document. As far as council's actions, based on what I have reviewed and looked at in comparison to the Ohio Open Meetings Act, along with court decisions that have interpreted that, it is my opinion, again, based on what I know occurred last week, that they are not in violation of the Ohio Sunshine Laws.
Including the round robin provision? The round robin discussion provision? Because as I understand what happened last week, they had sort of individual conversations, but came to a conclusion on what they were going to do based on that. And they were not notifying the mayor or Mrs. Ackerman or Mr. Drake.
I know that it has been stated that there is a round robin upon reviewing what occurred last week and re-reviewing it after sitting here. I don't have any evidence that has been presented to me that that is what occurred. Therefore, it's my opinion that they are in compliance with the Ohio Sunshine Laws.
Okay. That's your answer and you're sticking to it. That's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Connie Trudeau, please. And Mr. Gibbs, you'll be up next.
Connie Trudell, 5046 Dove Road.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions for Mr. Waldenczak. I'm going to ask the questions back to back and then give you a chance to answer them. First question is, how were you first made aware that Dave Andrus was a candidate to fill the open council position? Second question, how did you communicate with Mr. Reeves, Mr. Horniak, and Mrs. Pauloff regarding the consideration and appointment of Mr. Andrus to Oregon City Council? Third question, did you communicate your approval of Mr. Andrus as a member of Oregon City Council to any other council members prior to last week's meeting?
Mr. President,
Ms. Pobora?
Mrs. Trudeau, I apologize, but to be consistent with the past practice of the City of Oregon, we have been placed on notice of potential litigation. When that occurs, it is the city's response not to comment. So I understand that you have these questions and there is interest in it, but that is the appropriate response based on being notified of potential litigation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gibbs, you are up, please, and then Leanna Netchkoff, you'll be,
Paul J. Gibbs, 3145 Dogwood Drive, Oregon, Ohio. I just want to share with you, there is hope. This is the time of the year where we have hope. You know, Jesus left heaven's glory. He came down here to straighten out our messes, and he died on a cross so we could have forgiveness, and we could join him someday in glory. And so I just want to say, let's keep the hope, let's keep the faith, and let's not be discouraged by all that's going on. God is going to right the wrongs. He's going to make the path straight. We just have to trust in him and hope in him. Man, I got more time. Okay. Hey, I'm just going to say a prayer for the remainder of the time. Our Heavenly Father, I do thank you and praise you for your goodness, your mercy, and your grace. I thank you, Father, that you are the one that ordained government. You are the one that's in charge. You are the one that's in complete control. You are the potter. We are the clay. Mold us and make us after your will. Use us as you see fit, Father. And may we fit into your plan where you want us to be. And may we just be able to sort out this mess. Help us, Lord, to reconcile our differences, bring this community back together. Lord, it's a wonderful community. There's only 20,000 people here, but it's a wonderful community. And we ask that you would reconcile the differences here. And we'll give you all the praise and all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbs. Leanna Neshkoff. Up next would be, I believe it's Aaron Gray.
Leanna Neshkoff, 5536 Eagles Landing Drive. I just wanted to say that I was here at the council meeting last week and I was kind of surprised by what I saw happening and somewhat disappointed because I haven't been somebody who's always been in attendance at these types of meetings. I had a busy job, didn't work down in Florida, didn't have time to do that. But I would like to hope that going forward, this kind of thing wouldn't happen in the future. I think that we have a lot of smart people looking at everything from multiple directions so that hopefully we can not have this happen in the future. I would like to see more citizenry be involved when it comes time to make these kind of decisions, make nominations. I don't know if there's any type of citizens council that meets regularly with the council members, but it seems to me that that would be something that would be a good thing to have here, where you could have people not just in this room, but outside of it, hearing what's happening in their city so that they could go talk to their friends and neighbors and have more representation from this town. It is a small enough town that we should be able to do that. Toledo talks about garbage, for crying out loud, with high school kids. I mean, we don't seem to talk about anything, really. And that's just been my observation this past 6 months or so. So I would like to see more of that happen. That's really all I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. Gray, please, name and address for the record, and Christine Gladjo, you'll be next.
Aaron Gray, 1026 North Kuzno Road, Oregon, Ohio, 43616. Terry, Joel, this question is for you. Joel, did you ever receive a copy of the agreement for cleanup with the project labor agreement in regards to the Oregon Jerusalem Historical Society project?
Mr. Major.
Mr. President, Mr. Gray, the documentation that was handled through the OEDF was with the OEDF and the Oregon Jerusalem Historical Society, since that's who the agreement was with, was submitted by the appropriate parties for reimbursement of the grant, and the grant was reimbursed.
So that wasn't my question. Did you ever receive a copy of the agreement with the project labor agreement in it?
That I'll have to look up the project labor agreement and see if it's in the actual agreement between the OEDF.
So I'll refresh your memory. On August 14th, 2024, you did receive it. It was sent to you by David Mann. I have a copy of the email that was sent to you, then forwarded to me by Linda Rossler. When I questioned you about it earlier in this year, you denied not knowing anything about it or ever seeing it or ever seeing the contract. After that meeting, I approached both yourself and Terry. Terry questioned you about it. You became upset. We were supposed to have a meeting that you guys then told me you couldn't talk about and you could not meet with me under the direction of Mrs. Purpura. My frustration is on August 9th, over 20 union members were brought into this room and voted in favor of the data center project, that land acquisition. Shortly thereafter, on August 11th, I was confronted and called out by Michelle Quilter here that I never signed a contract and that there was never a PLA. And being that this is probably the last time to talk to you guys about it on the record, not only did Michelle say I did not sign it, did not have a contract, but that there wasn't a PLA, I also have the proof here of the signed contract with the PLA. You guys then voted against my concern for the project and how it was being handled that you oversaw, Joel, and with the PLA involved in it, that there was no PLA. Bernie got up here and begged you guys and pleaded you guys to vote in favor of moving that $30,000 into their hands, saying that there was never a PLA. I have a copy of the project with the PLA, and it's all been on recording.
Thank you, Mr. Gray. Mrs. Gladjo, if you would, name and address for the record.
Christine Gladjo, 512 South Lauendorf, I wouldn't be up here without a financial question. Ms. Pepora, after last week's concerns, I just want to know if you followed up to get an outside review of Mr. Mazur's severance agreement. And if not, that leads into my next question with agenda item on here to roll over PTO for the employees. And I have a feeling that is to let Joel roll over unused and get $10,000 out of his severance agreement. So those are my questions. And then Mr. Horniak, I've always respected you. I've always held you in high regard until last week. So you've always been a good leader for our citizens, and I tried to come up here and ask you to do the right thing and not follow that charter and just let the next vote getter. I don't even know Mr. Lambrecht. It's just was the right thing to do. So my question for you was, why was the city business not included on the city council agenda? Ms. Pepora may have answered that. I think we've answered the council members that you guys got this back door for. I don't like that, but that's what you guys are called right now. Do you feel like you acted in the community's best interest by this recommendation? I would say no. Are you aware of the rules of the Ohio Open Meeting Act? I just want you to state that you are aware publicly, for apparently there's a lawsuit. And then whose responsibility was it to notify Ms. Ackerman and Mr. Drake? Was it yours? Was it Mr. Reeves as the president? Someone should have made notification. And honestly, we've all been here a lot of times. We had the right to be part of that decision and not do a corner backdoor deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gladue.
Mr. President,
Mr. Horniak.
I'm going to request first, Ms. Purpuri, do I have an ability to respond to any of that?
You would have the, Mr. President, Mr.
Yes.
Horniak, if you are aware of the Ohio Sunshine Laws, that doesn't affect our, the potential litigation that has been brought to our knowledge.
Okay, because there's a second part that I do want to address and give an answer to, which is, do I think I did the best thing for Oregon?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, yes, I am aware of sunshine laws. The walking quorum I've gotten more familiar with to make sure we are okay because I didn't have a deep knowledge of that. I'm still comfortable that we didn't do anything. For those that aren't sure, if you go back into the record maybe 4 weeks ago, we were talking about taking a tour of a data center, and they're trying to arrange a date where we can go. And even at that point, I asked during the meeting, how do we do that if 4 or more council members want to go with sunshine laws? How do we achieve that? I'm the one that asked that question. So I do pay attention to that. And Ms. Gladue, I appreciate your comments at the start. And I'm sorry that I disappointed you or you feel that I disappointed you, but I do want to give a little bit of illumination to my why. And I'll go back to 2022, and it was stated by 38 votes. This is still a democracy, and 50% plus 1 still passes votes. The city of Oregon had 3 different charter change items that were forwarded to the agenda in 2022 for the November election. One dealt with the start date for council terms, which was somewhat requested from the Board of Elections. I know that because one of the board members reached out to me and said, by the time we get ballots certified, ready to go to swear somebody in on December 1st, if there's a recount, that's a challenge. Okay? That's really why that first one was put in. There was a second one which said, let's eliminate primaries. And again, part of the same conversation with the BOE, and I believe why the administration presented that was, if you have a September primary and there is a chance for a recount because of that September primary, there's no way to get the ballots prepared for early voting. So that was taken to the voters. The other one was in the appointment. And at the time, I believe the argument for that was when that charter piece was written, all 7 council seats were elected at the same time every 2 years. That changed a number of years ago with the charter change where there is staggered elections of 4 members and 3 members, starting with a 2-year term and a 4-year term. There was a whole thing. It's all the information in the charter. So that's how we got to the point of why does council appoint the next person instead of the next highest vote getter, okay? The citizens of Oregon, not city council, not the administration, it was put to the voters in the city of Oregon, who approved it. 38 votes, 1 vote, 300 votes. It was approved. They also approved the change of the start date. They did not approve the elimination of the primaries, which tells me that voters were discerning enough to know the difference between the 3 things, what they liked and what they didn't like. And while the vote was close, it was still affirmative on how the vacancy would be put in there. Now, as far as the question of do I think I did the right thing for Oregon? I said it last week to somebody, I'll say it again. I can still look at myself in the mirror and feel that, yes, I did. And here's my challenge why. You may not like how it went down or what went down, but I'm going to explain the why from my own personal reference, okay? In 2022, the voters said, do not appoint the next highest vote getter. We want council to appoint somebody, okay? There were 2 people interested in filling the seat that were both next highest vote getters. 2 of them presented themselves to me. They are the only 2 people who made themselves aware to me that they were interested in the seat. I had other people I talked to, other people said, you should talk to so-and-so, but only 2 came forward. Mr. Lambrick was one. Mr. Dabish was the other. Tom, I don't think you and I had this direct conversation, but I believe Marvin Dabish can tell you that he and I did. My challenge with putting in the next highest vote getter was in 2022, the citizens of Oregon says, we don't want that to be the case anymore. And then additionally, in 23 and in 25, similar to you, as to Mr. Dabish, you had the opportunity to be elected. The citizens did not choose to put you on council. So the citizens did speak, even though 1,900 or whatever votes voted for you. I think it was 24 or 500 is what needed to be elected. So for both of you as candidates, to me, I saw that as I don't believe that's in the best interest of Oregon, because I believe that flies in the face of the voter in 3 different ways. 2 council elections and the charter change in 2022. You may agree or disagree with my logic, but as my seat as a council person, I looked at the voters saying what their choices were, and I used that as my personal guide to how I went through my process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Mr. Caphammer.
PJ Caphammer, 3646 Navarre Avenue. It's getting toxic across the board. It's still a great city. It's almost Christmas. I'm willing to bend the knee right now. Me and Steve have never got along. As people spoke, he's our mayor. I give him that. I'll respect the seat. I'm gonna. We never got along, but it's the job you're in. It's your seat, you earned it. Congratulations. But you earned it, though. Everybody up here is a leader. You're gonna have a bunch of different opinions, and people are gonna get along and not get along. You're the leaders, though. You still have to communicate. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to like the way things are done, but I'm hoping, I'm asking, lead us. Lead the room, lead the city. It's still a great city. There's a lot of great things that go on every day here. I mean, if anybody wants to see, go stop by the senior center tomorrow and spend a half hour there and see everybody that benefit from that. Go walk the park. There's just so much good things going on. This room's only gonna go where you people take it, though. You gotta work together, even if you agree to disagree and not like each other in the end. That's all I'm asking, that somehow you lead the city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Council, we need to add items 195 of 2025 to through 199 of 2025 to tonight's agenda. Can I seek a motion to add these items to the agenda?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Horniak.
so moved.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Was that Ms. Pauloff? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Pauloff. Council, are there any objections? Hearing none, items 195 of 2025 and 190 through 199 of 2025, has been added to tonight's agenda. The first item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item number 195 of 2025, being presented by Mayor Salander and IT Director Ken Meister. Mr. Meister.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this ordinance is for the adoption of a formal cybersecurity program for the city. Back in the end of September, the House, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. The state passed a
Thank
new
you.
law requiring basically, anybody gets audited by the auditor of state to have a formal cybersecurity program. And we are required to have one by January 1st. This doesn't create something entirely new. It basically formalizes a lot of the processes that we're doing now, and then also adds the additional step of having it audited by the auditor of state each year as well, to make sure that we're doing what we should be doing. It covers such things as employee cybersecurity training, inventory, access control, cybersecurity, or not cybersecurity, network controls, antivirus, patching, backups and recoveries, and incident response plans. So in order to meet the requirement, like I said, we have to adopt some kind of program that meets these requirements for the state. Basically, a set of general guidelines that are nationally recognized. We have to adopt some form of these. So in order to do these, we need to adopt the ordinance, and then once that is adopted, finish creating it, and then myself, the mayor, city administrator, will approve it, and then each year continuously review it for changes, modifications, et cetera, that kind of thing. And if you have any questions, please let me.
Thank you, Mr. Meister. Council, any questions and/or concerns? Hearing none, I will assign item 195 of 2025 as ordinance 195 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing the mayor and IT director to adopt a cybersecurity program for the city of Oregon and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Horniak.
I move for passage of ordinance 195 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wallensack. Thank you, Mr. Wallensack. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mr. Wallensack?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Andrus?
Abstain.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 195 does pass with 6 yeas and 1 abstention. The next item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item number 196 of 2025, being presented by Mayor Salander and Finance Director Nick Roman. Mr. Roman.
Thank you, Mr. President. These next two items are both supplemental appropriations. As we talked about a year and a half ago, it was asked that whenever we're bringing forward any supplemental appropriations, we split them between personnel versus operating and capital, just to make it easier for council members and citizens to see what we are doing. This first ordinance is on the operating and capital side, and if you look at the attachment, almost every single one is a reduction in our budget. These are different items that we either didn't get to, projects that we decided not to go forward with, or just other miscellaneous items that we didn't need for whatever reason throughout the year. There are, I believe, 3 different items where we did have to add in a little bit into the budget. One was for county auditor deductions, something that we don't know the exact dollar amount at the beginning of the year. Once we go through the year in terms of receiving the taxes, they automatically take them out, and so we have to make an appropriation for that. Another one is as a $50 addition, and this is for the Otter Creek Stream improvement. This was a fully grant-funded project that we were doing. We were $50 short in our appropriation, so that was being added there. And then the last one is for our building and zoning department, $1,200. So this is based on monthly fees that we bring in. A percentage has to be put towards the State of Ohio Board of Building Standards that we have to send. We brought in a lot more this year than what we ever have in the past, so we didn't have the correct amount budgeted at the time. And these are due at the end of the year, so that's why we see that increase. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Council, any questions for Mr. Roman? Did you cover both?
I only covered the first one.
Okay, thank you, sir. So for item 196, any questions? Hearing none, I will assign item 196 of 2025 as ordinance 196 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing and directing the finance director to make supplemental appropriations for interfund and intrafund transfers on an as-needed basis for fiscal year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallenzeck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 196 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenzeck.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Drake. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallenzeck?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Andrus?
Abstain.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 196 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 6 yeas and 1 abstention. Our next item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item number 197 of 2025. This one is also being presented by our Mayor Salander and Finance Director Nick Roman. Mr. Roman?
Thanks, Mr. President. As I mentioned, these items, their titles are exactly the same. This one is for the personnel side accounts. We have our last payroll this week, and so therefore, we don't know exactly what dollar amounts are going to come out of those based on overtime, vacations, different additional items that are included in the payroll. We have to make estimates to make sure that we have enough money appropriated during, for the end of the year. This is actually the smallest amount that we've seen in the last couple of years in terms of what we are appropriating to the different personnel accounts. It's laid out by department, and then there are 2 insurance items that are on there, and then the last one is for the retirement payouts. We had a lot of retirements this year. That was some big amounts, so we were short on that as well. So if there's any questions, please let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Council, any additional questions on item 197? Hearing none, I will assign item 197 of 2025 as ordinance 197 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing and directing the finance director to make supplemental appropriations and intrafund transfers on an as-needed basis for fiscal year 2025 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallenzeck.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 197 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenzeck.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Drake. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallenzeck?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Andrus?
Abstain.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 197 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 6 yeas and 1 abstention. Our next item on the agenda for consideration and passage is item number 198 of 2025 being presented by Mayor Salander. Mr. Salander.
Thank you, Mr. President. This ordinance here is just really to carry over some of the excess vacation and PTO from the employees into 2026. There were just a few that were, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but it did not include Mr. Mazur. So this was just city employees themselves.
Mr. President, if I could add a little bit of context
Yes,
to it,
thank
just
you.
because I did talk to Ms. Gladjo earlier. So this is for extraordinary circumstances. So for each union agreement, each bargaining and non-bargaining, there's different rules about how much vacation time that can be carried over any given year. So anybody who is over that amount automatically loses it unless there's an extraordinary circumstance. They're allowed to request to the mayor to ask for permission to carry over those hours. Each of the 3 employees on this, I believe, reached out to the mayor and asked for it. So that's why it's being brought forward by him to be approved by council. So just wanted to add a little bit of context. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roman.
Thanks,
Mr.
Mike.
Sandler, or anything else?
Nope, that's it. But thanks for the further explanation there, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, are there any additional questions on item 198 of 2025?
Mr. President.
Mr. Horniak.
I do have one question of this, and I'll direct it to you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if you will know this with a 2-year history, or even really Mr. Roman, but since I've been here, this is a fairly consistent end-of-year ordinance that's presented. I believe we've considered this almost every year, I think, that I've been here that I can recall. Is that correct or accurate?
Mr. President, Mr. Horner, if I could. So it is accurate that there's typically, this does come forward. It's usually 1 or 2 employees. When we were in COVID, it was really difficult for employees to use time. So that's where during those couple of years, we did see a lot larger list of names on here with bigger numbers because it was so difficult for people to use their time. So yes, this is typically brought every year, but it's usually 1 to 2 people with an extraordinary circumstance.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Roman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Council, any additional questions?
Mr. President,
Mr. Drake.
yeah, I got a question for Mr. Roman. You said there was a couple people. I know when I worked for the city, there was a lot of people. I guess the question I have is, I don't know if it's ever been asked. I know when I worked here, there was, they never asked me, but is there a reason why they don't use vacation?
Yes, I can't speak to the reasons for these individual people. It is some personnel side that I can't speak on, but I believe that the mayor was made aware of those reasons, and that's where he has the authority to approve it. So, yes, there were reasons. I forget what the question is. I kind of got mixed up there. I'm afraid to say something.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. Council, any additional questions? Hearing none, I will assign item 198 of 2025 as ordinance 198 of 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Authorizing employees of the City of Oregon to carry over in excess of vacation time into 2026 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallenczak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 198 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Drake. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallenczak?
Yes.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mrs. Ackerman? Yay. Mr. Andrus?
Abstain.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 198 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 6 yeas and 1 abstention. And I believe this is the last item for 2025. It is being on the agenda for consideration and passage is item 199 of 2025 being presented by Mayor Salander and our city administrator, Joe Major. Mr. Major.
Thank you, Mr. President and City Council. So passage of this ordinance would approve of the 2026 budget. In front of you, we have taken, we've done another review, and we did receive a couple of comments. So there were a few changes made by the bullet points that are listed here. The first one was a $9,600 increase to the police budget for sergeant and lieutenant promotional testing. That's to update the civil service list for those positions. Decrease in Fund 101 for capital accounts. This was for purchases that we were able to make in 2025 utilizing the COPS grant. So the COPS grant run by the police department, so we were able to make purchases this year so we can decrease that account for 2026. As you all are aware, also that the mini ambulance donation, that was added to that was a grant from Synovus. We talked about this a few weeks ago in a council meeting. That's a $90,000 purchase for a mini ambulance, and that was added into the 235 account. There was a decrease in the 975 operating account. That was an item that had been carrying over for many, many years that was identified by one of the council members, actually. And that was something that had just been carried over for many years, and that has been removed. That was for the hazardous algal bloom prevention partnership. That's no longer applicable. And then there was an increase in the 530 revenue account for the sanitary sewer fund. That was due to an identified miscalculation by staff in the finance department. So at the very bottom of what you have in front of you also is what was presented to you early on in the first budget presentation. In the first budget presentation, as we normally do, we review, as staff, Nick and I namely, we review each individual department's budgets. We identify some items that we believe could be cut. This is the list of items that were removed from the budget. And they're from various different departments, from Parks and Rec to the fire department, things that affect, mostly that affect the 101 fund or a general fund. So you can see the list from before hasn't changed, and that's what we have before you. We can, at this point, I'd like to open it up to questions, but just want to point out that a budget is a living, breathing document, so if changes need to be made, obviously, we do this throughout the year. We make supplemental appropriations, we add things, we subtract things, and, during projects, sometimes there's change orders or there's emergency repairs, whatever the case may be, changes are made to budgets. So this approves of the budget for 2026, but this may not be the final document, as changes can be made during the process throughout the year. So with that, I'll leave it up to anybody here that has any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Major. Council, any questions for Mr. Major? Mr. Horniak.
President, Mr. Mazur, just kind of following up on something I brought up, I think it was last week or the week before, regarding the budget. So the roughly $1.1 million you have in the items that were removed from the budget are basically the wish list items as were presented during the budget hearings, correct? Those were not based on the conversation of a contingency of finding $1 million or whatever it may be of prepared changes that could be made for that. This is part of the original presentation.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Council, any additional questions for Mr. Major? Hearing none, Council, I will assign item 199 at 2025 as ordinance 199 at 2025 and ask Ms. Snyder to please read it into the record.
Making appropriations and authorizing interfund transfers on an as-needed basis for necessary expenditures for personal services, other expenditures, and capital improvement programs of the City of Oregon, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending December 31st, 2026, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Ms. Snyder. Council,
Mr. President.
Mr. Wallenczak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I move for passage of ordinance number 199 of 2025 as an emergency measure.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak.
Second.
Second by Mr. Horniak. Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Ms. Snyder, will you please take a roll call vote of council?
Mr. Wallenczak?
Yes.
Mr. Horniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Ackerman?
Yay.
Mr. Andrus?
Abstain.
Mr. Drake?
Yay.
Mrs. Pauloff?
Yes.
Mr. Reeves?
Yes. Thank you. Ordinance 199 of 2025 does pass with a vote of 6 yeas and 1 abstention. Having considered all items on the agenda this evening, we will now move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to start off here. I got a few retirements and resignations and then an appointment. So we'll start off with Mr., is it Andrus? Andrus. Okay, I want to make sure I pronounce it correct for you. Thank you. So I have Mr. Andrus's resignation from the Board of Zoning Appeals due to his appointment to City Council, and this would be effective December 8th of 2025.
Council.
Mr. President.
Mr. Horniak.
I concur with acceptance of the resignation of Mr. Andrus from the BZA.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Pauloff. Council, any objections? Hearing none, Mayor, council concurs.
Thank you. Next would be retirement. This is a retirement from James Bartley as operator of the wastewater treatment plant. This would be effective April 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council,
Mr. President,
Mrs. Pauloff?
I move to concur with the mayor's acceptance of the retirement of wastewater operator James Bartley, effective April 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauloff. Second, I'll second it. Council, are there any objections? Hearing none, Mayor concurs.
Thank you. Next would be a retirement. We have a retirement here from William Gladio, and this would be effective on March 13th of 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council,
Mr. President, can I ask what department is he in, please?
Water.
Water, I believe it was water.
He's the HEO,
Yep.
water distribution.
Oh, okay. I move to concur with the mayor's acceptance of the retirement of William Gladio, effective March 13th, 2026.
thank you, Mrs. Pauloff.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Drake. Council, any objections? Hearing none, Mayor, council concurs.
Thank you. And finally, my last one here is for an appointment. And this would be an appointment of Ms. Angela Mills of Toledo. And this will be to water treatment plant operator position being placed in step 1, which would be an hourly rate of $33.41 and an annual rate of $69,492.80. And this would be an effective start date of Monday, January 12th of 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council,
Mr. President,
Mrs. Pauloff.
I move to concur with the mayor's appointment of Angela Mills as wastewater treatment plant operator, effective January 12th, 2026.
Thank you, Mrs. Pauloff.
Second.
Second by Mr. Drake. Council, any objections? Hearing none, Mayor, council concurs.
Thank you. And finally, I just have a statement of my own to make. First, I would like to thank the community for their concerns and interest in the recent actions that have taken place through our city government. Many of you have expressed your concerns here tonight, in addition to the many others who have already made their feelings known. Accountability and transparency are essential components of our constitutional republic. The concerns voiced by our community members here tonight are valid, and I share your concerns. As a result of these actions, I am immediately seeking outside legal counsel of my choosing to conduct a review of the actions around a possible sunshine law, open meeting, round-robin law violation for the selection of a nominee to fill vacant council seat. This isn't about the nominee himself, but instead the actions taken by members of council prior to the meeting last week to appoint the nominee. I want to be clear that this request is not due to who the nominee was. This legal review is the first step regarding this alleged violation. I ask for your patience and understanding at this time to help ensure your trust and confidence in our city government. Your voice is heard, respected, and understood. And understand that we will do everything to make this right. Thank you. I do want to wish everyone a happy and healthy and safe holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Major.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple of updates. We did receive the mayor and I received a letter from the developer for the data center project that these are answers to the questions as a follow-up from the town hall meeting. And so those are actually submitted to our third-party administrator for the website, so as soon as they can, it should be up by sometime tomorrow. We'll post it on our Facebook page once the questions are, and I believe Ms. Schneider is pulling up. So it appears that they were able to get it on there on short notice today. So it is actually on our website now. And it's right on our city website. So thank you, Ms. Schneider. Thank you for that, for the quick turnaround on that. One other item, there was a question by a resident last week about the cooling systems and the use of PFAS. We did confirm that it is a glycol system, and I believe they stated that in the town hall meeting, but that is also, I did want to point out, and just to quote Mr. Roman, Mr. Paul Roman, not to get confused with Nick, but a lot of these design questions we don't have the answers to, and we won't have the answers to them until after the detailed load study is complete and until an economic development agreement is negotiated. So a lot of those items we won't be able to see until then. The detailed load study is what is referred to as a gating event. So once that's completed and it shows that there's availability of power to the site, to the location, then other items can follow that. So that's what we're waiting on. From what we're told, that First Energy should have the detailed load study completed by early January. So that's the information we have now. And Mr. President, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Major. Ms. Pepora.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Pepora. Mr. Roman.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Mr. Horniak.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Horniak. Ms. Pauloff.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing from my standing committee, but I know tonight is your last council meeting, and I want to thank you for all your years of service to the city. I remember coming on, and you were on for a few years when I got on here, and you showed me how to be a really good council person, and we bounced off each other. We did a lot of things together as a city to really do some great things in this city, and the key word is to work together, and it was fun back then. So thank you for all your time and service, and I wish you all the luck in your future.
Thank you,
So,
Mrs. Pauloff.
Thank you.
Mr. Wallenczak.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing from my standing committee, but I would like to, since it's our last meeting of the year, I would like to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I look forward to serving with Mr. Gibbs starting in January. Council, I'll pledge to you communications. We have to reach across and listen to the public. We have to be better. The city of Oregon deserves better, and I pledge to help bridge that gap and do better. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak. Mrs. Ackerman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to clarify that in the November 8th, 2022 general election ballot issues that Councilman Horniak mentioned earlier, issue 19 did not say you cannot choose the next highest vote getter. It gave council the power to select the next council person to fill a vacant seat, but it did not negate that as a possibility. There's no language in there that says you cannot choose the next highest vote getter. And so I researched this. I recall when this came onto the ballot, I know that then Citizen Salander opposed it at the time. I did also, that it didn't seem like the right thing to do, but it did pass. But there seems to be a breakdown in the meaning of it. It doesn't say you cannot name the next highest vote getter. It's that council gets to choose. It doesn't dictate that they could not have chose the next highest vote getter. Just want to clarify that. There seems to be confusion like that. It's not allowed. That's not the case. That's not what that did. I do hope that this does continue to get looked into because I have relived in my mind from the moment that I first heard Mr. Drake heard Mr. Anderson's name, I literally timed it and had I not asked the question, I would have probably been given less than 1 minute to understand the scope of who is being put forth and, there's a lot going through your mind. It's crazy that because you're sitting, how do I know this guy? How do I know this guy? Obviously, as a farmer, I know who the surveyors in the area are. I know surveys, I've seen his name on. That was not, I know he's on one of the boards. It didn't need to be a matter of ridicule. I do take great exception that he was in attendance. He was invited to be here. And again, not a personal thing any more than it is to Mr. Lambrecht for or against them. I recently did the Wreaths Across America, and what did I see at Willow Cemetery? There's a plot that I'm assuming are his relatives, so he's got history here. Not, I was like, and I wanted to have a chance to discuss that history with him. It's not about that. It was about the process and about the votes of the people being just tossed aside. And I know, and he understands, I hope, that it isn't. It's the process. It's not the man, okay? The swearing-in form was requested, I believe, by Mr. Horniak in the morning of Monday or sometime during the day before the meeting. The request to have not a prepared document, as Ms. Purpura said, where it had his name filled in. It was a blank swearing-in sheet. And so just from my point of view only, this is my point of view, my perception, I come in, you find out, you get a name, the person's here, they're already swearing him in the corner. Yeah, we can do a lot better than that. We can do a lot better than that because the mayor wasn't even informed that was going to be brought up tonight. We need to do a matter like that. Should have been the courtesy, the respect should have been given to at least give us more than 5 minutes to know who the candidate was that they were putting forth. So that remains, that will continue. For my standing committee, did go out with Mr. Henninger and world-renowned landscaper and horticulturist Paul Ackerman. He's gonna kick me. But no, seriously, I do respect his knowledge. And looked at Eastmoreland, and so we're in the process of trying to get the most beautiful tree setting in there to replace what had to be done because of the sewer line that was defunct. So that was fun today in the cold. But I do want to give a shout out to the Oregon Health and Welfare people that did the Christmas baskets. I know they don't want to be called out by name because I know they're angels in disguise and that they don't do it for the recognition. But it was a pleasure seeing everything you guys do. It was amazing. It's such a wonderful community outreach. It was just a beautiful thing to witness. So thank you to all of you unnamed angels for doing that. And also, I know that the man who I won't say his name because he coordinates Wreaths Across America for our area, but he and his team did a beautiful ceremony on Saturday. It was another lovely day of cold wind, but again, another beautiful community program and ceremony, and it was wonderfully attended. And it was a really great, beautiful thing that our city does, and I hope that it continues to grow. We did Willow Cemetery and North Cemetery, but certainly the people that coordinated, those Boy Scouts standing out there with short sleeve shirts in that cold, and the honor guard, and it was a very touching memorial and reminder about what you know, like, what should you keep close to your heart in Christmas time? And the sacrifices made. But I do want to say, hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and hopefully we do start the new year. We work through this, we don't give up, but I echo the mayor's sentiments that we work for you guys. We're here to do what you want us to do, and that's what our job is. And it doesn't matter what I want or anybody else up here wants, it's what you guys want. If we don't do the job for you, you know what to do. So I just thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you, Mrs. Ackerman. Mr. Andrus?
Obviously, my placement here is extremely controversial. It's not easy to step into this situation between warring factions. Trust me, my wife looked at me and said, "You're crazy." And God love her, she's right. When people heard that I was appointed to the seat, there was no congratulations. There was, "I'm going to pray for you." I know many of you feel that I shouldn't be here, obviously. I'm not looking at a room of people. In fact, I don't see anybody here that I know. I'm not looking at a room that likes the way this went down. I regret the fact that I never had the opportunity to present my credentials. I briefly mentioned my credentials when one of the questions came up, and I'll restate them again. I've lived in this community for 25 years, and I've served on the Board of Zoning Appeals for 15 without compensation. They meet on average once a month, sometimes twice. I didn't seek out this position. I was approached, and I thought, what a way to serve my community. I had no idea the controversy that this would cause. I was promised, if I would consider this position, that I could vote any way I felt fit for the benefit of the people of Oregon. And I intend to do so if I'm allowed to stay here. I just want you folks to give me a chance. I am independent. I would like to meet with Jim Davis. I would like to meet with that group. I want to know what the issues that these people have with this data center. A couple months ago, I didn't know anything about this data center because I work 7 days a week as a small businessman, just trying to keep things going. All I saw were signs and roads everywhere, and I had no idea what this data center was about. I watched the town hall meeting, and I saw the developer make comments and promises, and I saw a lot of citizens having genuine concerns. I want to find out what those concerns are. I am independent. I will be able to, I get to vote any way I want, but I always would put forth the people of Oregon first. So I'm sorry that my being here has caused so much tumult. I only ask that you give me a chance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrus. Mr. Drake?
Yeah, I got a few things. First of all, to get it off my chest, and I believe a council person at the end of the meeting. However, Mr. Andres, I have absolutely nothing against you. I was questioned what I thought of you and by a media source, and I said if he walked in the room right now, I said I wouldn't know who the hell he is. And I said he might be one of the nicest guys in the world. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, I know we got a kid in the room. Jake, your son should probably be in bed instead of being here. The whole thing just sucks. I apologize for that word. I know it's not your fault. I did a little research. I went to school with your wife. I think it's Rosa. Is that right? April. Okay. Silva. I got the Silva part right? Okay. One for one. Nice family, great person. Had I known you were going to get sworn in, I wouldn't have left. I was one of the first ones to leave out of here, and I apologize. I didn't know that was going to happen. Like I said, it was absolutely horrible. I mean, how embarrassing. This poor guy gets fed to the wolves. He accepted it, I get it. But, like Mrs. Ackerman said, it was a process. The way it was handled. To assume Beth and I knew about it is absolute BS. And I don't even want to get into it. I feel bad what you've went through, and I'm sure your wife, I know she was a nice girl in school, very quiet, polite, good family. It's just hard to believe that how it went down. I mean, it's incredible. And it wasn't a race to who could nominate first or last or this or that. It's just, you know, it's one of them things, you know, it's hard because you think about it, what you went through, your family. And the good thing is, I know in the end, I don't think I did anything wrong. I just wish I could have been here for the swearing in. I mean, it could have been announced that they were going to have that. I don't know what the shenanigans were, but congratulations. It is what it is. Mr. Lambrick, he would have been a great candidate too. I didn't know we were supposed to, I thought each one of us on council, nobody's superior over the other. We're all one of seven. I'm one of seven, the rest of us are. I didn't know we were supposed to let this particular person know who the applicants were, who run to this person and say, oh, I got a neighbor down the street. He or she wants to have that seat. I didn't know there was some sort of haphazard-ass process for that to happen. Because I can guarantee you, I'm sure there would have been a lot of people to apply. And like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I apologize that wasn't at your swearing in. Had nothing to do with you. And all I can say is I hope we can move on for the good of the citizens, do what's right, listen to the citizens. It's not what Paul Drake wants. It's what I get a feel for the people. I wish I could ask all 20,000 people, but it's impossible. But that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. Well, I have nothing from my standing committee, but I would like to thank the citizens of Oregon for how they entrusted me for 18 years of being on city council. I appreciate the support and the somewhat of the respect that we have been given as council members. The administration that I have worked with. It's been a really eye-opening experience. I sort of was asked to run 18 years ago by some guys that I was having coffee with at, I can't think of the name, the place over on Navarre, no, it was,
Legs and eggs?
Star, no, well, that, I didn't want to say that, but, Star Diner, and, thank you for saying that, because now that brought back the Star Diner app, part. But, no, I really enjoyed it. I wish Mr. Gibbs all the luck in the world, and please, I know you'll do the best job that you can. And the council that's here and our new mayor, and I just hope we can keep moving forward, not taking steps backward. And like I said, it's been a great 18 years, and I'm very thankful. And with that, I mean, you know, I'm always trying to crack jokes and stuff like that too, you know, to make things fun. But these mics are very sort of new. I was just gonna drop the mic, but I better not. So with that being said, thank you to you, the citizens. Thank you for your concerns. Council, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm just down the street and I'm not going anywhere, but I sure appreciate being here. With that being said, if there is no further business before council, I seek a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Thank you, Mr. Drake. Thank you, Mr. Wallenczak. This meeting is adjourned at 8:30. Thank you.